All right. It is saying we are live. Now, in these magical moments before anybody is joining in the stream, this is a magical moment that I can take for just me and the people watching it later on the replay. As the people who are watching it live are on their way in these first few seconds, I want to say hello to everybody down the road watching it on the replay. Right now, we are going live. We've got our homie Irish Lover 7745 in the chat. This is another live experiment, but we can get into all of that very soon. Right after this.
Let's go!
At the age of 6, mega superhero fan Sean Ward was hit with a thunderbolt of truth. Grown-ups are idiots figuring things out no different than kids are. A revelation inspired by his villainous grade 1 teacher. Years later, with his childhood dreams all but dead, Sean found himself dialing for dollars with no hope in sight. He decided then and there, it was time to make a change.
So it's making the proclamation, you know what, if I'm going to be a famous comic book creator, if I'm going to be a famous entertainer someday, then I have to be a famous entertainer today, rather than puttering about and hoping that the rest of the world gives me permission.
Now, Sean is revolutionizing social media through fun and wacky.
Whoa, that's not what I meant to do. I tapped the button by accident. Well, forget it then. I'll just come on and say hello. This is Sean coming at you on the live stream. This is, in the title, it says it's week 4, I do believe, of the Snyder Cut. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I just started playing on my YouTube web browser. So close that out. Sorry about the delay there. As you know, this is an experiment. This is a beta version of an official live stream show that will come at some point in the future. But right now, what I'm doing is a series of live stream shows week by week to document, mostly for myself, the creation of an original animated short film. So I'm working on this thing called the Snyder Cut, the movie. And it's going to be approximately 40 minutes animated film about all of the behind the scenes drama that we all have heard the story to a whole bunch about the making of Justice League and Suicide Squad and what Zack Snyder went through to try to get his version on the screen. So I said a long time ago that I wanted to do a weekly live stream to check in on production of that film every week. Now, at the time, I thought that would take me 5, 6 weeks. Even if it got up into 7, 8 weeks, we're talking about 2 months, that'd be crazy. But here we are in week 4, and the writing is still happening, because what keeps on happening is new layers unfold. Keep in mind, I've said before that this video was originally cooked up. Sorry, this film was originally imagined as a video for the Sean Ward Show YouTube channel. And the idea to do it is a 5-minute video where I'm narrating the story and it's accompanied by art and drawings and animation. That video just went through a whole bunch of filters, and the idea just kept getting bigger and bigger until I saw a trailer for a Netflix show called The Way of the House Husband. And on that show, The Way of the House Husband, the animation style on that just made me go, Eureka, that's it. We can do that. We already do animation more complicated than that anyway. We could totally pull that off with what we already know how to do. Eureka. And then I saw it as the stepping stone that could get me and the team here on the show from where we're at now with this unprecedented YouTube success that we've enjoyed, but we're still wanting to make a name for ourselves in the broader and bigger world of art and feature films and pop culture. So for all of those like longer term career dreams that I had for myself a long time ago, this is now the point at which we're enacting a lot of those plans. So I've already had so many of my childhood dreams come true, but there's still that deeper level, that bigger level, right? That stuff, that really big stuff that I wanted to do. So I've been describing it to people lately by saying that it's as if I'm back at the telemarketing place that I worked at many years ago, before I ever had any kind of like success as an artist, before I even tried it. I was working at a telemarketing place, and I just like had a eureka moment one day where I just understood time in a new way, and I had to drop everything and get going on all these big dreams that I had for my life and for my career, realizing that like if I don't like start putting monumental amounts of effort into making that stuff come true, it's never gonna, because it's never gonna just like surprise me one day. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff takes gargantuan Herculean effort. And I kind of realized that I was at a point, you know, I'm into my 20s at this point, and I didn't take much seriously throughout high school kind of time, right? Graduated high school with just barely scraping by grades. My teachers always gave me just like grades, knowing that like I'm not dumb, and that they felt bad about failing me, but I also didn't do the work. So they just give me like just the bare minimum passing grade and off you go. But I didn't take school very seriously because I was too busy wanting to do all of this stuff that I'm doing now, right? So didn't go to college, didn't go to university, kind of puttered around for a lot of years, ended up working this minimum wage job, that minimum wage job, a little bit of call center, a little bit of warehouse, this kind of thing. Yeah. And I was at the call center job one day, and I just had this moment of like, oh my God, not only have I not like got my career going in that direction or my life going in that direction, but there's nothing in my life that's like putting me in that direction. And I got lost time to make up for, right? So I had this moment recently where it's like all of our 2020 plans for the channel got wiped out. And coming into 2021, I thought, okay, well, let's just treat it like those are just gone, right? Those are unavailable. What else you got, right? Because a lot of 2020 was kind of treading water, trying to like wait for the pandemic and lockdowns and whatnot to get out of here so we could get back to, you know, these big epic plans that we had for things we want to do in 2020. So we're coming into 2021, and I'm thinking like, not only is it like those plans are all gone, but those plans were all drawn up based on what had come in the years leading up to it. So let's just treat it now like we're just starting from like scratch. You got the whole world open to you. Anything you could possibly think to do, you want to do it. Now's the time to like plant your flag and start laying the groundwork, laying that foundation, so that when the world, you know, reactivates, you've done the legwork, right? So that's when I started having this thought about how like I've been doing this YouTube thing for long enough that if Marvel was ever going to call me and say, hey, we saw your YouTube channel and we think it's hilarious and we just love your humor and we'd love to have you come direct Ant-Man 4, whatever, right? If that was going to happen, it would have happened already. Or if it's going to happen, it's going to happen by chance. At this point, I feel confident that like it's not the kind of thing I should like bet on. If it happens, great. But if I want to make it happen, then what do I got to do? What kind of actions do I got to take? What do I got to change? What new? How do I got to shake up my rhythm? How do I got to like rewrite the rules of everything I do? You know what I'm saying? And it's been a very, very weird, long process of like trying to maintain the balance of delivering the goods for the fans we got, while also trying to put the work into these new things so that we can deliver even bigger things for our fans. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm on about right now. And so to come in here with this update for you on the Snyder Cut, the movie, it's that this is the 4th week that writing has been happening. Now, keep in mind, I'm not working full time on the screenplay. I'd love to be able to, but I'm doing YouTube videos and got other things on the go. We got a little baby to look after, right? But we are at the point where we almost have a complete draft. And it's not like first draft, second draft, third draft. It's more like I go in. So I basically just got like, tried to get everything that I know I want to have happen, right? Just working out how to take 8 years of stuff that happened in real life and try to translate it down to how it's going to work for like a 30 to 40 minute fun film, or at that time, what I thought was going to be a 15-minute film. So then I started like trying to like take the real life stuff and just compact it and compact it and compact it. This thing that happened over here and this thing that happened over here, I can combine those to make them happen at the same time to like, to compact it, to save time and space. And so we've got that entire history, that whole story of what happened behind the scenes of Justice League. We've got that now kind of compacted down to a tight, like 20 something scenes. A feature film, they say, is 40 scenes. So we've got this like half of a feature film in terms of its heft. Dare to dream we can keep it down under 40 minutes, because otherwise it's getting ridiculous. But the whole thing about trying to translate these real life events into, you know, a story that would work for a film. And part of the reason to do it animated is because that allows us to take certain liberties with like characterizations and how events play out and whatnot. Like we've got a scene where one character is going to be urged to climb out a window and take a ledge and go around a building and climb back in over by the reception area so that they can be waiting when the guy wants to make a grand thing, because somebody's on their way in, and it's like, oh, I don't want them to see you going out, so you go out and around so that when they come in, you'll be out there and we can bring you in and it'll be this grand ta-da. Like, these are the kind of things that obviously did not happen in real life, but the kinds of things that are going to happen in our telling of the story, right? And it's all got, from what to me, I kind of look at it like it's got, even what it lacks in accuracy in terms of what actually happened, when and where, it's got an emotional truth to it. So part of the whole thing of compacting that story down and making it short enough and play out compact enough that you can tell it in 30, 40 minutes animated form, you've got to exaggerate certain things. You've got to take certain artistic liberties, right? And so we want to deliver something that's got, pizzazz and heft and delivers as a film unto itself. It's funny, it moves, right? But we also want it to have how to put it, we want fans of Zack Snyder and the Snyder Cut and superhero movies on the whole, we want them to watch it and go, yes, that's the expression of what I remember that whole thing was like. We want to nail that fan experience of it and how it all played out to fans. So that's fans of superhero movies, fans of Zack Snyder, fans of Justice League, right? We've had some people who I've talked to some kind of VIPs in this space about everything that went on and consulted their wisdom. And there has been, at one point, there was a little bit of concern here and there about where we were coming from with this. And people think that we were coming at it from this kind of jaded, look at these nerds kind of perspective. And they were very happy when I revealed that, no, that's not where we're coming from at all. We want it to be this very sincere and loving telling of this story about kind of creativity reigning supreme over all. You know what I'm saying? So that is the update about the Snyder Cut, the movie right now, is that I got off on a whole tangent here. What I forgot to say is that with each pass of the script, it's like I go through the whole thing I just described of just getting all the scenes in order. Once I think I've got all the scenes in order and I can understand the flow of the story and everybody who's got it coming gets theirs and everybody who's owed the best in life gets theirs. Once I kind of feel like I've got that flow down, then I can actually start kind of writing the action. It's a sentence form. So-and-so comes in. So-and-so says this. So-and-so says that other thing. Everything that needs to be there for something else that comes later to make sense, all of that's got to go on the list next. So completing that list comes next. So once I kind of get that list going, it's almost like I get a little bit carried away and I start writing little bits of dialogue, kind of embellishing it. And then I just got to get it out to the end. A lot of times I'll type down things like, I don't know what this is yet, but I know I need to dramatize the Justice League release, right? This kind of thing. So then I go back over it. And it's a matter of you smooth it out. And then you go back to the beginning, you start at the beginning and go it out a little more and go back to the beginning and go out a little more. The last few times I've opened the document and started editing it, started working on it, what I've found that I'm doing is I start at the beginning and I start watching it and I watch the movie play out in my mind as I'm reading it back to myself. And it's when I get to the point when I can't see the movie anymore because it isn't that clear. It isn't that rock solid. It doesn't sing for me yet. That's what's, okay. So then I need to go in and you start typing and you figure out what needs figuring out. So it's kind of this process, like I said, of going out a little further than last time, out a little further than last time. And each time I go through, this thing I need to fix back there. I got a better solution there for that kind of thing. And so by the time I get to a complete draft, it's not a matter of a first draft. It's a matter of finally having complete enough of a draft to be able to move on to storyboarding, because while Cass is drawing, who you met on the last live stream when she showed off her first look at the art, once I've got a draft done, I can move on to letting her start to work on the drawing and the animation. Well, the drawing is going to take a lot longer, right? For the drawing and kind of this rudimentary starting to lay out the animation, because I can go back and tweak the script or add little things here and there after that. And that is the update without actually getting it out and reading you the script. But that's just, this is kind of for the heads. This is kind of why we moved this over to the personal channel and why it's on the vlog channel and not on the main channel this week, is because we're just getting really, really kind of personal and in my head and me just talking out my process. And like I said, this live stream, especially this week, is kind of for me more than it's for anybody else. And so with that, let me do some outreach and go over and see what some people are saying in the comments. Jenna Eveld is back in the house saying, hey, Jenna, thank you so much for coming. So glad you could make it. You are awesome. Steve Morales says, hey, Sean, how are you? I'm amazing. Loving life. Can't get enough of it. Give me a chance says, I thought Batman joined the NBA. I don't know what's up with that comment. It is funny. But it sounds like it should be a video idea. So maybe we'll turn it into a video idea. Howdy there, Steve. Batman and Robin are honorary members of the Boston Red Sox. Well, that's interesting because I would imagine that Gotham, if it was real, would be nowhere near Boston. And then we go, Irish is saying, grades in high school were okay. When I enlisted in the Marine Corps, I really applied myself and was able to do the complex math and science to be candidate for Scout Sniper School at Camp Pendleton. See, dude, this is why I love when that you watch my stuff, because this is just absolutely fascinating to me. And at one point, I kind of feel like I need to have you on as a guest and interview you. And it's not even like because you're promoting anything or because you know, an artist or something like that. And if you are, all the better. But what I'm saying is like, I would just love to just have the time to ask you questions and find out about your background with all this stuff and what that's all like, because I'm absolutely fascinated by it. I'm fascinated by the courage and strength of character that it takes to volunteer for this kind of thing. It's absolutely nuts to me that people know that danger and are still able to go, whatever, I'm jumping in. And then also the level of like dedication and loyalty to a principle and to a cause is the other thing that I admire. And that's actually the thing that I admire more than anything else, if I'm being honest, is I spent a lot of time, and, you know, the viewer numbers are such that, you know, we can take this as just a moment between us, Irish Lover 7745. But in the early 2000s, when Bush was president and 9/11 happened, I was very much on this anti-capitalist, anti-American kind of kick, buying into a lot of that propaganda about how America is some evil presence in the world. That, like, as if America disappeared, everybody just like goes to sing Kumbaya. And like the level at which I was up my own ass and the degree to which I still had much to learn, which I would later learn about the degree to which the United States, what the service that they provide to the world to like keep the peace, so to speak. Like you find out that after World War II, and I'm sure I'm just speaking something that a lot of people already know, but after World War II, the United States basically said to everybody, listen, this whole business of warring empires and you can't trust that your goods are going to make it to market because that guy's sending his ships to knock you down and he's not even going to get the stuff. He's just going to knock you down so your guys can't have it. Just forget it. We're not doing that. The United States says, you know what? We're going to use our army at our own expense to police the shipping routes so that anybody around the world is able to bring their goods to market all around the world without fear of pirates or rival empires or what have you. And like that, just as one example of like what the role the United States plays in the world. And so I've had a lot more respect in probably for the last 15 years for members of the military, especially the American military. I spent some time in California living with, so a friend of mine was the roommate of a guy who had been in, I think it was the Marines, but he'd been in Afghanistan and he'd seen some shit. So he's basically living off of a military pension, having been medically discharged. I'll tell you the story. So anybody who doesn't like gross stuff, now's your chance to click away or fast forward or whatever. I'm going to tell you some gross stuff. So this guy who was the roommate of my friend who I stayed with in San Francisco, I lived with him for 3 months. So this guy, let's call him Mike. So Mike was in I don't know what you call it, a troop, a regiment, a battalion, a unit, whatever, but they were coming around a corner. So they're on the trail of some bad guys and they're coming around the corner. And as they come around the corner, a fucking explosion goes off. And the explosion was inside some kind of metal box. So one side of this metal box that blew open when the explosion went off, the whole big metal plate side of it flew through the air and landed on this guy's front. And it's hot. So once it made contact with him, it fucking like stuck to him. So all the metal, so he's laying there with this fucking metal thing stuck to him, melting his skin all down the front of him. And these medical people, the way he tells it, these medical people come running right after him. And they basically went 1, 2, 3, yanked. Oh, just hit my elbow on this chicken back here. Yanked the fucking metal plate off of his front. And the way the dude told me, the way he explained it to me was he says he was looking down, and it's like he watched his own intestines and guts and shit fall out of himself onto the ground. All these medical people basically like gather it up, throw it on top of him, throw him on a stretcher, and get him the hell out of there. So he got sent to some kind of, I don't know what you get sent to in the middle of Afghanistan in a war, but he got sent where you send people who experience that kind of thing, where they like patched him up. He unbuttoned his shirt. He showed me his scarred up front and everything. It's nuts. So he was just living off of a military pension and tending bar in San Francisco for a little bit of extra dollars and, keeping himself busy. I also had a friend in LA. He didn't suffer anything nearly as horrific, but a friend in LA who, the way he told the story, this is one of my Spidey cosplayers I'm friends with. He was in a truck and he was at the top of a hill and somebody didn't set something properly, some kind of brake or whatever, so that the truck that he's in went down the hill backwards and like bashed into something. It was a terrible accident. He got all messed up, whatever, but he also got a discharge, and now he's living on a military pension. And that's wild. So we've got Jenna Eveld is saying, I love gross stuff. I can share some gross stories too. Oh my God, I'm not sure if you should, because I actually don't like gross stuff. I just tell that one story because it's so crazy. Who am I kidding? We all like gross stories. So we basically have Jenna Eveld and Irish Lover are the ones watching the show right now. See, one thing is that when I moved this show from my main channel over to the vlog channel, when the notification goes out that we're live, it doesn't go out to anywhere near as many people. But because it's so intimate and we're just talking amongst ourselves right now, I can ask you guys what you think. Number one, Jenna and Irish Lover, what do you think about this doing it in the nighttime versus the daytime? Because 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it felt nice, and it made sure that I kept it to a lean, mean 1 hour because I had to get out of there fast. It also seemed to always work out that I would run out of comments to reply to at about that 1 hour mark. So it kind of worked out good there. But then doing it in the evening makes me feel like a lot of people are kind of, at home, relaxing. We're not worried about people's, being at work or on their way home or whatever. And the other thing that I wanted to ask you about, and I hope you guys will put it in the comment here while I'm talking to you about it, is what do you think about the idea of a radio show as opposed to a video show? Because I've had a app company reach out to me and ask me if I want to start doing stuff on their shows. I'm booking a call with the guy, and hopefully they can give me some kind of like promoted spot or something. But with this app where you can do your own radio show, actually run your own radio channel, you can play music off Spotify, which is something I obviously can't do on YouTube. So if I want to actually have music, like I'll talk for a bit and then play songs and then come back. Also, instead of putting your comments on screen, I can have people call in to the show, like actually speak to you on the phone style, and that would be kind of cool. So, or maybe I can, stream on here while also doing the radio show. And it's just the radio show goes out to the radio show. The live show goes on here. Wouldn't be able to play the music, but I wonder if there's a way to make that work. So I want to solicit your thoughts. Everybody who sees this, whether now or the replay, let me know when you're in the comments. And if you're watching it live, let me know in the live chat. And this question is going out especially to Jenna Eveld and to Irish Lover 7745. So the Irish Lover, medevac hospital or hospital airlift? Yeah, one probably took the airlift to the medevac hospital. Sounds nuts anyway. This works well for me because I'm convalesce at home for a while. What does that mean, convalesce? I don't know what that means. What's convalesce? Let's see. Both 4 and 8 work out for me. I love the idea of a radio show. Well, that's cool. Yeah, it could be more intimate. One thing I don't know if you guys know about me, but like way back when my career was first popping off, like kind of I had local buzz and people started knowing who I was. I started hosting a weekly internet radio show on Sunday nights that was about prank phone calls. So there was this thing called PCU, Prank Call Underground Radio. And what we used to do is go on there. Hold on, I was going to get this comment off of here. So PCU, Prank Call Underground Radio. What happened was there's a guy who had this enormous collection of MP3s of prank phone calls. So just so that he could have it on at work and him and the dudes he works with could like laugh at it while they're working, he basically made a playlist of them at home and set up some kind of server thing. This is back in like Winamp back in the day. So he ran it on Winamp, if you remember that app. Does it still exist? I'm Mac now, so I wouldn't know about it. But back in the day when I had a PC, I had Winamp. So anyways, this dude was running PCU, Prank Call Underground Radio. At first he was running it. It was just like a playlist. So all his big collection of prank phone calls in a playlist on Winamp on random and then just going out. So then, of course, he started giving the stream address to other people. And then they started giving it to other people. And it turned into this big popular thing. So then he started doing live shows. I don't know how he linked it up or who did it first. I don't remember. But Steve was the name of the guy who started the thing. It was a guy named Dave who called himself KDK. KDK Prank Calls would be on Saturday nights. And so based on the success and popularity of KDK Prank Calls on PCU Prank Call Underground Radio, I started like listening to that and laughing. And then some dude started a show on Thursdays. And it kind of every night of the week started getting filled with a live show. So I took the Sunday slot. And I loved doing it on Sundays. I would go live on the internet. This was audio only. It was live at 9 o'clock on Sunday nights. And what's going on, because it's a prank call station, is I'm, talking, shooting the shit like we're doing here. But the meat of the show is that people are sending in phone numbers of people who they want to hear me call. And then they're also giving me phone cards for the long distance minutes, and also so that my phone number doesn't come up on the call display on the other end. So they'd give you the name and number of somebody, tell her you're so-and-so and that you saw such and such and it's going to drive her crazy or stuff like that. Or weird, apologize up with reflection now, but like Asian people with weird names that sounded funny, stuff like that. So it was just basically 3 hours, maybe 4, just from basically 9 to midnight of me doing prank calls live for everybody on the internet to hear. And I'll give you an example because this one was the best. I've actually gotten back in touch with, I shouldn't say back in touch, but I've seen the person since. Okay. So there was a girl I knew who was a fan of my comic books at the time. And she gave me the name and number for her friend who was this giant My Chemical Romance fan. And that's all the information she gave me. Call this girl. She's a huge My Chemical Romance fan. So what I did is I called her up and I had music playing in the background and did this whole thing where it's like, I'm the producer for such and such radio show. I just want you to get all of your I don't believe you out now, so that when the whole host picks up and says we're calling you randomly, that's to let you know what we're doing, so you're not surprised and think it's a joke. Oh my god, okay. So sit tight and I let the music play. So it sounds like the music's on like over there, right? And after a couple of minutes, I come on. Now I'm the radio guy, and you're listening to. We had this fake radio station that everybody always said they were from when they were pretending to be a radio station personality. We were always from 98.6 The Mouth. And so I told her I was from 98.6 The Mouth, and that we were looking for the biggest My Chemical Romance fan to win a VIP experience and go backstage and meet the band and all this kind of stuff. And she's all freaking out. Oh my god. And I keep on, I'm getting her to do things. And I was asking her to make silly noises or run around the house or like just whatever. I was trying to push the envelope far enough that she would finally call bullshit, but she wouldn't. She just kept on going. So it got to a point where I didn't know what else to do. Like, okay, great. Well, you're going to meet. Just stay on the line. Our producer will take your info. And she was, okay, great. So I put the phone down. And I'm like, okay, that was this girl, and she's going to meet My Chemical Romance, and you're listening on 98.6 The Mouth. And I'm thinking, what should I do? How do I get out of this? So it was probably very mean, but I was a little bit more mean back in the day, I guess. I picked the phone up and I didn't know what else to do. And on spur of the moment, I pick it up and I go, hello? And she's going, yeah, I'm here. And I'm like, hello? It's like, yeah, I'm here. And she hung up and I hung the phone up. To this day, I feel bad about it. It's funny, but I feel bad about it. I feel bad about it, but it's funny. Respect due. So many years go by, okay? And the girl who gave me that girl's number, her name is Alexis, okay? So it's Alexis's birthday, and she hires me to go be the DJ. So I'm going to be the DJ at her birthday party, and I'm getting to meet all her friends. And one friend who gets brought over to me, no, she comes over. She's like, "You know who I am?" I'm like, "No, I'm so and so, that girl you pulled that stunt on." Like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I apologize profusely. I told her how bad I felt, but it was a little bit more of a shit disturber kind of period in my life, and that's what was going on. So all of that was to say that I've got experience doing a radio show as opposed to, a live video show where I'm here and I'm talking and the lights are on. When it's a radio show and it's audio only, it's a little bit more in your ear. It's a little bit more intimate. You know what I'm saying? And also the playing the music thing, would be kind of nice. So do you want to hang out for like an hour a week on video, or do you want to hang out for like 3 hours a week with the music, but no video? Y'all can let me know what you think about that. So I'm going to quickly jump in and see what the chat is saying. Recouping from surgery. Oh, so you're recouping from surgery. Okay, so you're still military, I guess. You're not like unenlisted, de-enlisted. I don't know what the word is there for that. Says, is your refrigerator running? You better go catch it. Yeah, we've all done that. That's really childish and funny at the same time. Laughs in evil villain voice. Mwahahaha. Well, that is damn right. Well, at this point, it's been about a half an hour, and we've got 2 people watching, and I know who they are. It's Irish Lover, and it's Jenna Eveld. So I guess I've got some thinking to do now about, okay, well, I didn't even get to the point of what I was saying before about why the change in venue here, why we're on the vlog channel and not the main channel. And the reason why is because I was speaking to somebody who is in a position to kind of know a bit and have a say. And he said, I would never want to tell you what kind of videos to make or what kind of content to make, but I just want to let you know that your live shows might be hurting your channel. I'm like, well, what do you mean? And he says, well, the average views on one of your comedy videos is like 120,000. And the average views on one of your live videos is 8,000. And that is possibly affecting the algorithm's ability to recommend your channel and your videos. And I can't front. I look at my analytics and I notice that, yeah, there is a bit of a downward slope from kind of around the time that I started doing these live stream March kind of time down to now, right? It's got its ups and its downs, but there is kind of I can see it perhaps. So I don't know for sure. So I want to just do this on the, I wanted to do this one over on the vlog channel, basically just to see what happens. I want to see if Jenna and Irish would show up, and you guys are the real deal, like the best people. So here you are holding it down. And also I wanted to just see when the notification goes out, how much people do we have come in at the beginning? Is it viable to do it over here? Should I even do the live show, or should I do a radio show? Keep it on the main channel, keep it off the main channel. It's so much to think about, because I hate this idea that we make decisions based on what the algorithm's going to like. I hate that we live in this world where it's not just, you get an idea, you go out and try it, right? Like that works for you in the beginning. But once you've got into something established and you're having success, the algorithm doesn't like when you try new things. And it's many creators have a chagrin about it. And it's why I'm taking such a wide left turn, why I don't just say, forget it, blow the channel off and just work really, really hard on, the new format, because just it wouldn't translate the same way right out of the gate. So that's why we're doing this kind of more wide left turn. But it also, I can't front doing the videos. I shouldn't say week in and week out, because we haven't been keeping up much of a weekly schedule lately. But I will say that doing those, regular videos on the channel, now when we run it through the filter of we only do one when it's an experiment for something else we're trying to accomplish in a bigger project down the lane, then that's when it all kind of forms like Voltron, if you remember that show. So for example, we've got right now, the one that we shot just this week on Wednesday was called Spider-Man versus Many Spiders Man. And so that one, we're introducing an original character called Many Spiders Man. And basically every video that we're coming up with for the next little while, it'll be one of the characters that's clickable, but then also creating an original character to pit them up against. And I've talked about this before, how the idea is there is that we can eventually have a roster of original characters, and then we can make videos about them, pairing them up, putting them against each other, send them out on adventures together. And that also opens the door to comic books, toys, t-shirts, all that kind of stuff based on those characters. So that's what we're doing with that one. We're also working on a stunt fight video that's going to take place in our studio, where it's us playing ourselves going against this rival team who's broken into our studio, and we're protecting the studio. And what that's about is working with this stunt team to just get something to get some experience together under our belts. Also, to develop working rapport with them because they're going to be working on the feature film that we're working on for down the road. And then also because in that feature film, we want to do a thing where it's based on us playing ourselves and the shenanigans that go on in our studio and in our world. And so it's kind of like starting to build those characters, those movie versions of us. You know what I mean? And then we got many spiders. And then we got Harry Potter versus Wanda, which we just shot this past Friday. So 3 days ago, we shot it. That's going to be the next video that goes up. And that one is all about seeing where we're at with the special effects. Are we as good as we hope we are? Are we as good as we'd like to think we are? Can we raise the bar? Can we do even better? We've done these special effects green screen videos that have this certain kind of style to them. But now it's time to move beyond that and do something even more polished. Where are we at with that polish? Can we pull off that level of polish yet? That's what we want to find out. That's what we want to know. So this is me explaining to you that. So it's like the Snyder Cut movie thing is there to give me experience working on something longer. That's a bigger project. That's going to take longer than a week to do. Something with that epic scale. Also, because it's a cartoon and we're doing the art for it, that then allows us to do a graphic novel alongside it. But that's to give me the experience to work up to doing the feature film. And then all these videos are each being designed with having it in mind that this is supposed to help us accomplish something on the feature film. So if the video, there is no doing videos just because it's clickable or just because it sounds funny. Every video has to have a deliberate purpose for how it fits in to helping us make the feature film. And that's what it's all about right now. And that's what I came on here to share with you guys today. So what are you guys asking right now? We had Jenna Eveld who was asking, would you be doing your own music on the radio show? I would pepper my own music in from time to time. Yeah. Might even do like, ooh, it's my new song. And that's part of it too. Maybe if it's audio only, I might feel a little bit different about like doing freestyles or stuff like that. On and on and on and on and on, like hot butter on the what? The popcorn, right? Maybe I'll feel a little bit, more loose about doing freestyles and putting music on and whatnot. Right now, I don't have a mixer, so I can't play music while I'm doing this show. But, I'll grab the microphone. I'll throw down my Hot 16. Have you heard my music, Jenna? Are you a fan of my music? Have you heard it? Do you listen to it on Spotify, iTunes, any of that? Let me know. Will Danny be using her Kung Fu fighting? Yes, she will. Well, Danny will be beating some people down. We got this whole stunt where Danny's going to, get kicked. So this girl's going to grab the top of the door frame and double feet kick Danny in the chest and knock her clear across the room. And she's going to land. This table is behind me here. She's going to land on it and go right through it. And shit's going to go flying. And that's the kind of video we're working on with this. But then it's also going to have lightsabers and an Iron Man blast and all this kind of stuff. It's going to be pretty nuts. And I can't wait for y'all to watch that. So with all of that said, this video is getting up near 40 minutes. And for the time we've had together, I think it's lean and mean. So I think I'm going to bring this one to a close. So thank you very much to Jenna and to Irish Lover for being the core of my audience tonight. I appreciate you guys. Be sure to stay in touch. I hope that you're both Irish. I know that you're a member, and I know that you're on the Patreon. Jenna, if you can become a member or get on the Patreon, that would be amazing. But either way, I hope that you're both on my email mailing list on my website and subscribe to me on whatever social media so that I can let you know when we're going live, where this live show may end up. Who knows what's going to happen with it? Not I. So we will continue to be watching out to see what happens. And I'll be continuing to give everybody the update on the development of the Snyder Cut, the movie, on one platform or another, so that one day we can all look at it and watch the whole progression of that film come together. And then one day when I'm directing, $100 million feature films, we can all look back on this and be all like, remember when we were just dreaming of the day when it was all just like a glint in our eye? Could barely believe that it's even possible. But now here we are on opening night, opening weekend, red carpet premiere for this $100 million movie that we made. That would be stellar. So thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for believing. Keep the faith. Rock and roll forever. And I'll see you next time.